Do you ever feel like you're improvising, but you're not really improvising? So, like, sometimes it's like I'm really improvising, but then sometimes it's like I'm just kind of playing some similar material to stuff I always normally play. So, this is something that's very common, and it is an affliction that affects musicians of all levels, not just beginners or intermediate musicians, but even professionals and even famous jazz musicians. Sometimes they kind of fall back on material that they play all the time, and it's not really as improvisational. So, how do we work on this? How do we get better at it? How do we get better at truly improvising and not just falling back on stuff that we like to play a lot? So, I'm going to give you two exercises to help with this. The first exercise, this is not something that you can do on a gig. At least I wouldn't recommend it, but it's something that you can do at home. I think it's super helpful. And that is playing tons of choruses in a row of improvising on a particular tune. So this has two benefits. First of all, it will help you to get super familiar with that tune. And second of all, after a few choruses, if you're just like not really improvising and you're just falling back on stuff, you'll probably run out of ideas. And then you'll be like, okay, I already played all that stuff. I need to play something different now. This happened to me one time in a lesson. A teacher had me just like keep going and keep going and keep going. And it made me realize, oh my gosh, like I wasn't really improvising. I kind of ran out of stuff. Now I have to like think of more stuff to do. And like now I'm improvising. So once you get past that, you keep going, keep going. Now you're improvising. You're kind of forced to. So that's a great exercise. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily think to play like that many choruses in a row of a tune, especially if they feel like they already know the tune. But like, try it if you haven't really been doing that once in a while. Like it's super. Like I can't say enough. It sounds simple, but it's like a great exercise. Just keep going like for an hour. Just like keep, blowing over a tune. That's trick number one. Trick number two is play the second thing that comes to mind. So when we're improvising, often we think of that as just playing the first thing that comes to mind. But try, whether you're practicing or you're on stage and you want to dig a little deeper, discard the first idea that comes to mind and play the second idea that comes to mind, and keep doing that. And that you might make some mistakes, but this will push you in the direction of like really improvising. And maybe you thought you were improvising, but then you might try this and realize like, oh no, I wasn't really improvising. Like this, like now I'm like really improvising. This is kind of what it should feel like. So and don't, again, this is normal. Like a lot of people rely on fallback material all the time. Nothing to be ashamed of, but we should all push ourselves to like, we're improvisers, right? Like we should really work on the art of improvising. So here's a couple of tricks that you can do to help with that. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this. I'm not sure if this is demonstratable. I'm not going to do the first thing because then this video would be too long and my phone would die. But I'm going to do the second thing. I'm going to try to play the second thing that comes to mind. First, I'm going to play over 12 bar blues, and I'm just going to play like all my usual stuff. I'm not really going to be improvising. If you don't know my playing very well, you might actually think this sounds kind of cool. But if you know my playing really well, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's not really improvising. And then I'll try to like actually improvise, and maybe you'll be able to hear the difference. I'm not sure, but we'll give it a try. So I'm just going to be playing over 12 bar blues. So first, not really improvising, and then like actually improvising. So that's me just like not really improvising, doing a lot of the same stuff I always do. Now I'll try to just like really actually improvise. Man, that's kind of hard. At times I was kind of falling back on some old material there, but that's the idea. Hopefully, hopefully that's a little bit of a helpful demonstration for you. If not, I think you probably get the idea. Two exercises for working on truly actually improvising.